Welcome back to the Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner. Alongside the Lone Ranger, we've been talking about how rates have plummeted. Now's the time to call Bruce and get your application in. If you're on his VIP Refi list, you want to get your application finished up online, call him. He will help you get the best rate available to you, or plan, as I do, plan your next move, plan how you can improve your credit report, get the best rate out there, what you need to fix. He will help you with that. Got a couple listings real quick, and then we're going to dive back into some other questions. I've got a listing here, a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 900 square feet, half-acre lot, $269,000 in Orange City. Beautiful house, 1-car garage, 1-car carport. Inside's all redone. Move right in, unpack. This one is done for you. Some new windows, all tile floors. There's no carpet in the home. Big lot. Do whatever you want. No HOA. Great little area for a starter home. And then I've got Rosemont right here by us at the radio station, Bruce. $318,000. This is the best price pool home anywhere around. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths with a 1-car garage, 1,700 square feet with a pool. Beautiful backyard, Bruce. You walk out back. The backyard looks like it's landscaped by Disney. You got a beautiful pool out there, just nice and private for $318,000. And then I've got a pre-foreclosure.
That's a pool house.
Yes. And I've got a pre-foreclosure here in Hunters Creek. This house needs a little cosmetics, but got good bones. $457,000, 1,900 square feet, 3-2 with a pool, tile floors, luxury vinyl. Needs a paint job, needs the screens on the pools fixed, big yard. The kids can walk out the front door to the middle school, hop the back fence to the elementary school. I guess we shouldn't do that. I guess they'd be considered prowlers if they were doing that. But $457,000. These homes in good condition are selling for $490,000, $500,000. So this one is priced right, will not last long at $457,000. Call me if you want to take a look at any of those. 407-352-8118 Loveland Properties. Give me a call.
And if you'd like to get pre-approved for that financing, and those are some great listings, call me now. Let's get you pre-approved. Let's get you under contract to buy one of these homes. Or if one of these homes doesn't fit your bill, then let's Cleve and his team find a house for you. Now is a great opportunity. You got hometown heroes. There's other down payment assistance if you are a first-time home buyer, and that's what's keeping you from buying. But if you're a move-up buyer, sellers are having a little bit more of a struggle right now because of the amount of inventory. However, I think it's a net wash, because if you don't make the money you were hoping to make when you sell, you're going to pick it up on the buy because the other seller is going to cut a deal. So I really think it's a wash right now. And usually it is, because that switches from one direction to another. Right? If you are a seller and the market's hot for sellers and they're getting over ask price, well, they're going to pay over ask price when they buy the next one, right? So it all washes out. Right now is a prime time. Interest rates have come down. We're a direct lender. We can do anything. If it's a program, we got it. We got it. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to put together a song for all of the loan products that we have. There's so many, I can't even list them all. 407-250-9144, 407-250-9144. When we left the last break, asking me about rate, locking your rate. So what if you locked your rate today? And your closing is in 45 days, and in 20 days from now, rates drop by, say, a half a point.
Yeah.
Okay. We will do what's called a one-time float down.
Yeah.
So we will take your rate. We'll allow you to drop that interest rate down to prevailing rates free of charge. One time. You can't keep doing it. All right. You can't keep doing it, because you got to remember, when I lock that loan, I'm securitizing that in the market. People don't realize that. They think that
you're reserving that money.
You're preserving that money on the market with Fannie Mae.
But that's the market, not the safe you have here.
That's right.
You don't move it from one side of the safe to the other.
It doesn't go from one.
Put the Smith's name on that briefcase full of cash.
Does not. I wish it did, but it does not. But you know what we're doing? We're not only helping first-time home buyers. I'm seeing move-up buyers finally saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and sell the house, or I'm going to leapfrog out of this one. But we are seeing a huge amount of investors in the market, and investors are red hot. And what had perplexed me is that they're not always getting a return on a monthly basis. There's not a positive cash flow to a great extent. So if you're an investor and you're like, I want to be an investor and I need to make 10% profit on this property. And you
Yeah.
and I have a client that
Yeah.
I sent you
Yeah.
that is working on that right now. The guy's well qualified, but he's hoping to get positive cash flow, and it's not happening. But I'm getting tons of investors that are doing it anyway. So I'm asking them why. And the answer is across the board. We are going to have an explosion in prices. And I want all of our listeners to understand that the market knows that's going to happen. It's not if it's going to happen,
And
it's when
let
it's
me
going to
jump
happen.
through that analysis there of saying, well, I've got to make 10% on my money. Real estate rentals, you're going to make 6 or 7% on your money. You buy a $300,000 house, your rent and everything, and after taxes and all that, you're going to make 6%, 5-6% on your money.
Yes.
If you get some tax advantages, great.
Yes.
You're going to get appreciation, which is just on paper.
Yes.
Probably another 1% each.
Unrealized
2%.
gains.
And that appreciation probably will get better. But the cash flow on the property is not the property's fault. And this is what investors with all their notepads and all the notes they take. And that's why, with rates where they're at, rents being soft, rents are still pretty good, but rents are a little soft.
Back.
They will go up. And with that happening, you can't fault the property. Oh, darn it, I can't put 20% down and make 10% on my money. Those days are gone. Right now, you probably need 35%.
30,
now,
35
overall
possibly.
on paper, when you lay out, is there cash flow? When you lay out, is there appreciation? And when you lay out the mortgage going down every month, $200 or $300 or $400 a month, you put all those things in there. And did I get tax advantages from it? Did I save money that way? And was I able to apply those savings? Let's say you do cash flow. What happens, Bruce, if you take that $300, $400 a month and you invest that and make money on that too, or pay the mortgage down?
Pay the mortgage
all
down.
These different ways. But a property not making 10% on my investment, that's not the property's fault if you're not buying it with cash, all cash.
Right.
So if you need a loan,
but who wants to put all their cash in the market? I'm going to
they
make
don't.
a crap load more money
This
in
is
the market.
leverage. So 3-4 years from now, when the rent has risen 15% and the property has risen 20% over 4 years, and that's not crazy appreciation over 4 years, 5 years. Those are the people. We had some people doing leapfrog with 15-year notes, negative cash flow, losing $1,000 a month. But on paper, when you lay this out, and I have landlords call me about every 6-9 months, I'll have a landlord call me going, I'm not making any money. And that's because they had a couple repairs and their rent check was $2,500.
Or they did a 15-year loan. Don't do a 15-year loan on an investment property.
And it depends on where they're at. Now, if they do leapfrog out of one with a 15, but those people I talked about,
most people shouldn't do a 15 unless you have a lot of positive cash flow, not on the property necessarily, but just in your life.
Yeah.
You got to be ahead of the game. Lenders love 15-year loans. And I'm going to tell you a trade secret. We love 15-year loans because generally within 3 years, a life event's going to happen. And that person's got to refi because the expenses. My daughter's going to college. I got to put her in this college. It's too expensive for me to house her. And my payment, I need to lower my payment. Well, you have to make sure that you're in a position then to do that. And a lot of people may not even be in the position to refi once an event happens. So you have to be careful. The other thing I want to tell folks is I've got a home equity line of credit. For all of you that got a 3% 30-year fixed rate and you don't want to refi, but you need money, you need a home equity line of credit. And I've got the easiest one, the very best terms, takes about 10 minutes to finish the application, maybe 20. Get your docs ready. I'll close in 5 days. And you have all kinds of options on what the terms are. But here's the thing. What happens is people wait till they need it and they don't qualify for it.
This is why we make a real estate plan for them and say, look, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Maybe this is better. You want to pay extra on your mortgage? Great. But do you have $100K, $200K in liquid cash you can get to for when Susie goes to college?
Yep.
All these things I look at when I talk to people. But my main thing on investment properties or when people do that, a 15-year, I think, is not bad. If you've got that other cash. It's funny you say that people do. They will. That's an easy way to drop your payment. You go back to a 30-year.
Yep.
But don't be a refi-aholic.
Nope.
So and that's why
I try to keep people from doing that, even though I do have clients and I'm like, I paid off all your debt. Can you not go charge up again? And they'll go, no, we tore them all up. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, I'm getting a call going, hey, we need to talk to you about another refi. And I'm like, granted, listen, I'm in the business. I don't get paid unless I do a loan for you, period. I'm going to throw that out. On the other hand, I am committed to making sure that I give my clients right advice. not self-serving advice.
Yeah.
And when I stop doing that, which I won't, then I should be out of the business.
All right. Which phone?
407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com.
All right. Cleve Loveland, 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. I want to jump into Trump. There's been some rumblings about he may declare a housing emergency. Now, really, the only thing he can do without getting Congress involved, a couple executive actions, he could cut tariffs on, the materials that come in, lumber and whatever comes in from gypsum for drywall and things like that. If that comes in from out of the country, he could cut tariffs on that. The trouble is, like builders right now, they're kind of lowering prices anyway.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of sitting flat, or they're
coming
giving you more
back.
closing
A lot of
costs.
them are starting to back off of the buy downs and
So
just offer closing costs.
because I don't know what else could be done. I think it would have to be an act of Congress to say, all right, if you buy a home, you're going to get a $5,000 tax credit or a $10,000 tax credit or something off your income tax or something like that to get people off the fence. But I think the way the market's going, we've had 3 years, or we've had 2.5 years of blah. These cycles usually last 2 to 5 years. I think right now with Trump coming in, all these changes just take time.
I don't know if a tax credit would help everyone. It would help some people, but you have to remember a tax credit means you are paying taxes and now you're reducing your tax consequence.
Yeah.
Where if you're at an income level where you don't pay a lot of taxes to begin with, then you're not going to get
they had a deal. My
that.
brother bought his first home in 2000, 2001. After 9/11, probably 2002, they had a $5,000 first-time buyer credit.
Oh, I remember $10,000.
It was $5,000
yeah.
cash to you. Yeah, so there's different things out there, but I just don't know what else he can do. Congress would need to say, all right, we're going to give you a tax credit if you own a home. We're going to double your interest, whatever it might be. I think that's going to take too slow. The market will recover before that happens.
If I were President Trump, there's one thing I would do first in the housing industry. I would eliminate capital gains on primary residences completely.
That should have been readjusted. Gains. Yeah, that five. I have some people bumping up against that now.
And if you're high end, like if you get if you're married, you get a $500,000 exemption.
And that's old. That's been that way.
That's been that way
30
for a
years
long
or
time.
something, 35 years.
But if you are over that, then you have to pay taxes. And I don't think we should have to pay the government taxes on the gain we make on our primaries.
Yep.
I do understand that the government needs tax dollars on the investment property, but not a primary. So that's the first thing I would change. What do you guys think about that?
I think that is one thing. I am having a lot of people run into that. The only other time I saw it was like 2006 when prices went crazy, then crashed in 2008. I had some people that went to contract to build a new home at 500 and sold it 5 years later for $1.7 million.
Right.
They made the profit. That's very rare, but you need to be aware of these things when they're coming up. And on the primary, I think they should raise that to $1 million. That would save a lot of things there, help that. Because I think that's a very small sliver of the population.
The people that are suffering from that are generally the people that are retiring.
Yeah.
And they need that money to retire.
Yeah.
Me, when I retire, for me to give up $300,000 to the government in taxes on a property that I'm selling that was my primary, that should not be the case. But I'm not the president. I don't make the rules.
How about if we rent that primary out for a couple of years, and then 1031 into 5 other rentals?
But I don't, if I get older, I get older, I don't want a 1031 because then I'm going into more properties. I want to start getting rid of it. Give out your numbers, brother.
407-352-8118 for Loveland Properties. Be happy to help you this weekend. I'm working all weekend.
Yep. Or the Loner Ranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. We're back in 5 minutes for the Loveland Report, the Loner Ranger Show. Don't go anywhere.